Sorry, I was just savouring my moment. It's Josh, Dan, Jay, and Lev's joined us today. Exciting.
Hey.
Lev's forehead has joined us.
Lev is currently in habitat in the dark.
There
he is.
This is
when you give your sponsor corporate tickets.
Yeah, it's like the token free event.
I know this has nothing to do with fantasy football, but I put this time in, and I could have been in a really bad mood, but I'm in a great mood tonight. Thank you, Bobby.
Could be really tricky.
But,
I mean, you put me in a slightly better mood. I wouldn't say I've put me in a good mood, but it's not as shit as it was at sort of 7 o'clock, 7:30.
This isn't a soccer podcast, but you didn't lose with 10 men. It's up on last week.
So can I just ask what you just called that? You just called football soccer?
Well, we've got to appeal to the masses of people who watch this.
Exactly.
The global audience.
Exactly.
Is that for our one YouTube fan?
Exactly. That's for you. Well, R&R? Is it R&R?
R&R Fantasy.
Can we ask?
You're getting more shout outs in the event.
Again, he comments or she comments on one of our videos just to ensure that our listenership is still going.
I didn't realise. I looked at the video and I saw that you'd been conversing. There'd been some two-way conversation going on.
Yeah.
We're good at responding to our fans.
Yeah.
Always. We're always on top of it.
You know how like Facebook has that they respond within X number of minutes thing?
Yeah.
I want us to respond immediately after the message.
I wouldn't say like respond to our fans. I'd say like responding to like our pen pal. our one pen pal across the pond. We'll always remember you, however big we get.
You're our number one.
I really want to know if like that guy was really stumbling through trying to find like good content and stumbled across our podcast.
Yeah.
You heard rumours of DeAndre Hopkins being called out and just thought, that's it, I need to get on this.
Yes, DeAndre Hopkins, the boom or bust player.
The boom or bust wide receiver. That is Hopkins. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he boomed last week, so by your calculations, he will bust this week.
And didn't he boom on your bench just a couple of weeks ago as well?
He did boom on my bench a couple of weeks ago when I beat you, so it's all right.
Oh, well, you deserve a medal, and so do you. So do you, and so does everyone in the bloody league. So
yeah,
well
Dan,
done.
You're the only person.
No, sorry, I was going to be really mature.
You're the only person that we carry on regular season records. You are 2-12.
No, that's not how this works.
You are 2-12.
Dan, I thought his record carries on next year too, so he actually starts the season potentially, 2-14.
So I don't get to borrow last season's record where I won the league.
But yeah, I do remember because Gowan and I often do have long conversations about the history of our fantasy. And I remember that Gowan had a really long losing run that went over into your winning season last year. So you had like a 8 or 9 game losing run, and then you won those again.
It wasn't last year. It was the year before. It was my Miriam year. I lost 9 in a row, and then it went in. I then lost the first game the following year, and was like, and then I remember it very vividly because I got a notification to say that I'd won. And I didn't realize that the app gave you notifications for your winning. So I was like, wow, this is really cool, guys. Did you guys get this? And they're like, yeah, every week.
Yeah. Well, I would say this. I mean, obviously, no one from NFL.com is going to be watching this podcast, but they need to work that out. Like the fact that you get a waivers have been processed 2 days after waivers have been processed.
I know, right?
Or you won your matchup on the Thursday night game of next week.
Steven Gostowski has kicked a field goal. I don't care.
That is the most annoying thing when your old kicker.
Stop reminding me of when I really thought the season might have been worth playing.
I still get notifications about Young Wei Koo. It's just like Young Wei Koo has just scored his 73rd field goal.
The soul.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
what a
Young
week.
Wei Koo is part of the Saul juggernaut
Yeah.
that crushes all in its path.
Yeah. Sorry, Lev.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm surprised.
Does that bring us roundly onto last week's matchups?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do we want to start with?
Well, you can't start with me or Jamie.
Yeah.
We were on bye.
Yeah, of course. You had the bye, so you two kind of survived your. You did all right in your bye weeks though.
I guess we'll
No,
save.
my team pooed. My team was poo.
I guess we'll save your matchup till the end, Josh, and we can
So I
talk
guess
about the other.
I guess that leaves me.
Yeah. So Lev,
as you've just joined us, I think maybe how did you see your matchup from your perspective?
So against all the odds, I actually gave myself a relatively good chance. Even though none of you did give me any hope last week, may I add?
so I will say that the Cam Akers pick, I thought you were going to win it after that Thursday night game. I was like, all right, here we go. This is what he needed.
It's going to happen, Dan. Did you think
I thought it was going to happen. It's going to happen. But,
so yeah, I mean, Saul, the GOAT. He
This isn't happening.
It's deadly.
It's not happening.
I was sort of hoping that Saul's away records, when he's on holiday, would come into play and that he would sort of not score well. That was what I was sort of riding my hopes on. But alas, wasn't to be. He sort of destroyed me in the really in the 9 o'clock games. I think he sort of really pulled away and I couldn't really recover.
It was mad. Like he had 3 players score over 20 points.
Kind of connected, but also kind of off on a tangent. Jamie, why did you give away David Montgomery?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, thanks for that.
No trade.
Didn't you give him away for a kicker and a defense that you've now dropped and didn't play in a single game?
No, I played them in one game.
Oh, against me.
Yeah, it was a bad move. It was a bad move. How was I supposed to know the mediocre player for the rest of the season was going to boom?
It's so Saul. It's so typical of the GOAT to be able to get someone like that.
Detroit, Houston, Minnesota, Jacksonville. That's how you knew that he was going to destroy.
Yeah, but he hadn't boomed against all of the other plus matchups for the rest of the year.
There has been a change in that team.
Yeah, but
that they've now concentrated on the running game at the perfect time to be sitting on Saul's team.
But the fact that when Alistair made the trade, he had 3 people approach him for trades immediately shows that there was maybe a bit more in it than just the kicker and defense.
Okay, well, it happened. Saul is now probably going to win. And what it then meant is that Saul was just too strong for Lev.
Not a single one of his players busted last week. Not a single one.
That was the problem.
Oh, Young Wei Koo only got 6. So
oh, shame.
Yeah, Gorman got a lower score.
However, what you do want in the playoffs is that you want to make sure that the guys you're picking in your team don't get less than on your bench, and he did that. I mean, his bench scored a total of about 5 points. So
he's got no strength in depth, and he's had to pick up another tight end. I think he's gone for Logan Thomas because
Engram's useless.
Gesicki's good. Oh,
Gesicki got injured. I thought he. I mean, I don't know what the actual designation was, but it looked like he'd dislocated his shoulder or something.
I don't know if it's that bad. I think he might play, but yeah.
He's not going to be as good if he does play. But that team, Miami have lost. They've got no wide receivers. They've lost their top 3 wide receivers, their top 3 running backs, and their tight end. They
just need to get it over, halfway, and then give it to Sanders, and that's all they need to do.
I mean, they don't have a team to get it over halfway.
I don't. That's I've been.
And they're playing New England as well, who are going to absolutely pulverize them. But hey ho.
I think they will.
I think New England are going to lose. Who says that? I mean, only a guy that would support them would say that.
That is an accusation I'm not willing to accept. They destroy. They destroy rookies. He's a rookie quarterback. They've got no offense whatsoever. They can't just play a kicker. They can't kick it from their end zone and keep kicking it up the field.
That'd be a good tactic.
Yeah, it would be. Might be better than throwing it with Tua. I don't know.
But
Yeah,
either
Tua had a
way,
good game last week.
he did.
So can I just point out that that Saul, I was going to say, basically, he's the
Goat.
David Montgomery, right? Everyone moans about him, but he is a current reign.
Oh,
The suspense is killing me. The suspense is killing me.
The famous Garmin Wi-Fi. There it is.
All
right
right,
there.
let's just move on. He'll come back in an hour.
Something about Montgomery. I mean,
Yeah.
as it goes, yeah. So Saul was just a bit too strong. I mean,
And
Devontae
I
Adams
suspect
didn't have.
Saul will be too strong this week again. I'm sorry, dear Dan.
I know. Well, I mean, we'll come to the previews. As far as I'm concerned, my team has great matchups. I'm going to chuck them out there and hope for the best. And we shall see.
That's basically it, isn't it? Yeah.
But yeah, no. So yeah, I mean, there wasn't much Lev could do. I think he pulled out all the stops. I mean, Lamar Jackson might have. I mean,
Still would have made a difference. Like,
Yeah.
would have been, still 20 or 30 points short.
Yeah, there wasn't much on the bench that would have actually helped.
No. I was hoping some of his players would have had an off day, but it wasn't to be.
That's what he needed. Yeah, that's effectively. Oh, Gowan's back.
He's back. Although I would say,
Every week, we can remind ourselves that Josh needs to get his internet fixed. Okay, cool, great.
All right.
Basically, the point I was trying to make before I got rudely cut off by my crappy internet was that David Montgomery, I believe, is on course to double up his. He won me the Plancy last year, and if he wins Saul the Plancy this year, that's a 2 in a row for someone who's being tossed aside by many a player.
Is he the MVP?
I think people overlook him, and I think it's disrespectful.
Maybe. So should we move on to the other game?
Yeah, I mean, the other game looked shaped up to be a really competitive affair, and then ended up just being a bit of a humping, to be honest.
Well, both teams that won scored a big amount of points that was going to be hard to keep up with.
Yeah, I mean, 150 is a hell of a score.
The problem that Ali has.
Well, he's the unluckiest player in the league, so
that too. But he has. I thought he may have done it, but then again, as with the other matchup, Sack's team just were too strong.
Sack's team is on fire again.
Yeah. Gone. I guess that's the saving grace for you. The Sack didn't get in the Miriam Bowl.
Well,
it doesn't matter who he plays.
Yeah,
I don't want to say it's much of a saving grace. I don't think it's gonna save me, unfortunately. But yeah, I couldn't have faced you because I would have lost that for sure. I don't think I've beaten you once the whole blooming time we've been doing this stupid game. I mean, this wonderful.
Oh
wonderful
God!
fantasy.
Even Jamie's team, who pooed their pants, would have beaten you last week.
Yeah. My team of bed shitters.
I didn't do well last week, but I nearly did better than Sanford, and it's that matters.
Well, yeah. I mean,
we'll come on to my game in a minute. No, we're talking about Sack and Ali. Don't worry, I've got my stats prepared.
Sack had Wilson and Carson against the Jets. Both did quite nice. I would have thought Wilson might have got more, but both did nicely. Again, none of his players got below 10 points, which is kind of the benchmark for having a great week. Diggs looked
on
amazing.
Fire.
He's some player, I tell you. Way better than this Will Fuller bloke that doesn't seem to be in the league anymore.
Yeah, I don't know where he's headed. He's gone off to, but yeah, either way. Hill, again, probably had a quiet week, but got 24 points.
Yeah, caught a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah.
And DeAndre Swift came back as well.
Yeah, and also, I mean, it wasn't... I think he was quite limited in terms of snaps, but still got 13 points. Yeah, it was going to be hard to keep up with that.
I mean, he literally ran the ball 7 times.
It's
and he caught 4 or 5 targets, but he got the touchdown, which helped him. So
yeah, I mean,
Touchdowns.
Ali's unlucky. You have sorry to bring up the unlucky thing again, but I mean Elliot again just not coming to the party.
Is it unlucky to keep selecting a guy who hasn't done well for weeks?
I would
Well,
say.
I mean, actually, you've got to argue that he didn't select the guy who hadn't been doing well for weeks, Miles Sanders, who then blew up and had a great game.
I mean, it would have taken balls of steel to play Miles Sanders. I mean, he was against the New Orleans Saints, who one of the best defenses in the league, right, Jay? And just you weren't expecting it for the Eagles as well. Who look at his previous weeks: 3.1, 5.2. You can't play that in the semi-final.
But I think, I mean, when it comes to Ali's team, if I was looking at it from my perspective, you would have expected a lot more from Jefferson and Evans.
Yeah.
On the week, and it just didn't happen for him.
Yeah, he tried to ride Kelsey, but it just wasn't enough this week.
Which is amazing that Kelsey's not going to be. I mean, there are some of the players that aren't going to be in the Final Four. I mean, obviously it's got to happen, but there's no Devontae Adams. Sorry, Lev.
Yeah.
There's no Kelsey. So I've now got the best tight end left in the game.
The Walrus.
Which is nice.
What do you mean? There's the big 5th and 6th place playoff game.
Oh yeah,
the most coveted game of next week by far, surely.
That big one, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, again, as with Lev's game, one team just kind of blew the other out the water. There was nothing really that the other team could do.
It wasn't that close in the end. It was a shame because you were kind of hoping for a few close games coming into the.
But we did have one. We did have one close game. Let's talk about your game. Sanford versus
you missed it. I'm retired. I don't play this anymore. I'm just here for the fun of chatting. I just like you guys. I don't actually play fantasy football anymore.
Versus Gaton.
So let's discuss, Gaton, why on earth did you decide to do the 3 matches?
It's because he brought the idea to the table and he couldn't back down from it.
Yeah.
Just seemed like a terrible idea.
His own idea.
I basically thought of this really clever idea with Zach, and we thought it was going to be a lot of fun. And then I didn't look at my team.
Surely being 2 and 12, you should have thought.
You looked at
1
your
and
team.
11, 2 and 11.
You looked at your team at the time. You're like, oh yeah, Taylor, Gibson, they're all gonna come good in the final weeks of the season, and I'm good to go. Let's do a 3-1. And then Gibson got injured, and your team are struggling to get past.
Do you remember how Gibson got injured? First play, looked really good, got injured. It seems to be a running theme because this week I had Deebo Samuel do exactly the same bloody thing.
You were unlucky.
Ran,
I
got 10
did
yards.
see that.
Looked really good.
I love that you seem to want me to win this title so badly that you have managed to get your guys injured so that my wide receiver now becomes a wide receiver 1 for the final weeks of the playoffs.
Yeah, you've got Brandon Ayuk, mate.
He's a beast when no one else is there.
And you have.
So I dropped Deebo Samuel about 4 seconds after the match process, and I dropped Noah Fant moments after. Absolute 0.9 points between 2 players, and I lost by 6 or less than 6 because 6 was the difference between my kicker and Sanford's kicker. Stupid position, and the fact that Josh Jacobs tweets out saying he's not playing, and then I'm going, I don't want to risk the injury. Maybe I'll stick with Deebo, who obviously I've been moaning about Pollock, saying Eckler, he might not be good because he's got hamstring injury, and they tend to re-injure within the first 4 weeks. Do you know who else has a hamstring injury? Deebo. When's it re-injured? Within those 4 weeks. So I didn't even listen to my own advice. I'm really blooming. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm not bothered by this at all. And I'm not worried the fact that I've lost again by under 10 points.
Do you want to give? We'll talk about it later.
Well, yeah, I'll build up to it because we don't have as much. There wasn't as much waiver activity and stuff.
We should probably talk
I've
about
basically done a bit of a diet.
For our weekly "Woe is me" segment.
Yeah.
No. This is a our weekly look back at the history and see if there's any,
what happened
any
on this
interesting
day.
look back in the past, any patterns to emerge.
Listen. Looking at your team, Jones against Detroit, that should have been 30 points. Tom Brady, you did the trade expecting him to get more than 15 points.
I did.
Taylor, you were right about him. He's doing great.
I'm quite happy about that. Eventually.
Did you get
Robert Woods dropped two passes at the end of the game where I would have won had he caught them. So cool. That's nice of him.
Only you would think about that, given that he played like the first. Wasn't he like a 6:00 game?
No, he was the Thursday night game.
Yeah, in fact, yeah, he was
worse.
the Thursday night. So you're looking back to the Thursday night game for 2 drop catches that you lost on Tuesday morning.
I mean, there are so many ways I could have won this game, and I didn't. Like, maybe if I'd played anyone instead of Debo. I had 2 players on my bench that I was considering, both of which would have won me the week. If I'd have played a kicker who didn't miss a 40-yard field goal and a 50-yard field goal, if he'd put them through, I would have won. But no, they don't, because Will Lutz has decided just when he's joined me, he's going to
we said you wouldn't tilt.
Freaking buffoon.
We said you wouldn't tilt on this. Come on.
I'm not tilting. I'm fine. I told you, I don't mind. I get very passionate when looking at dead teams. Okay, I think it's very important that teams who don't have managers anymore should have a voice.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that what you should remember is that next year is a new year, and you should focus on that.
Yeah,
I'm just being told off by the missus. I've got to keep my voice down.
Because you're so angry. Kareem Hunt basically did the damage.
Jeez,
I was up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning watching, and I admit that when he was 5 points behind you, I actually fell asleep, and then didn't see it until I woke up in the morning.
So I also conked out relatively at some point late at night.
Yeah, I don't like Monday night. I think we should ban.
Yeah, I agree. It's always a stressful night.
Did you stay awake, Josh, to watch it?
No.
You didn't?
I didn't actually. This is the first week in ages I didn't.
You should have been there. It was amazing.
How are you guys ever awake that late?
I have absolutely no idea.
Well, I don't normally make it.
Or you need to do something happens, and then you go, "Oh, it's 4 a.m. Maybe there's something on the line here." I've never been safe.
The only time I've ever done that was when I'm working a night shift.
So what I tend to do, so I used to actually just stay up and watch the game, like fully watch the full game, be absolutely knackered the next day. I used to just do it. And then this year I was like, do you know what's actually like quite fun is going to sleep and then waking up in the morning and watching the highlights, because then you don't have all the adverts and blah, blah, and everything kind of happens, and you actually can watch the highlights without knowing the score, and it's great.
That's what Alistair does.
So I always aim to do that, and then wake up at like 3, and I'm like, well, the game's on. So
this is what I'm like. That's what it's
really
like.
annoying.
If you wake up halfway through the game, you could just start the game from there, and then like fast forward through all the time.
No, so what I try and do is if I wake up at like 2:30 in the morning, then I'd be like, oh, just go back to sleep for like 1 more hour, and then you can watch like the highlights then. So that, and then I can never do it. So I watch the highlights until at half time, and then obviously they run out because it's half time, and I can just watch the second half.
But that's the thing. You can actually watch an entire NFL game in about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
40. You can watch every single snap in 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and what are they normally, like 2 hours-ish?
Maybe 3.
And if
so
you skip all the punt
that basically what happened is I lost this game. Sanford didn't win it. Because we haven't talked about his team.
I mean, also
I mean,
also shambles. I mean, the Ravens didn't do anything for him really.
No, he had two players. He had Miles Sanders and Miles Davis.
Miles Davis and Kareem.
I'm being like Lev now. Don't even know their names.
What do you mean? I know all their names. What are you trying to say?
And Karen Hunt. Just unbelievable.
Kevin, actually.
I just can't believe that he managed to, because actually the amount of points that were scored right at the end was just unbelievable. In that fourth quarter, it was insane.
Oh yeah.
So
I woke up on the sofa at when Josh was about 5 points behind. I sort of trudged into bed. I don't even know what time it was, and then I couldn't sleep because I'd woken up and went into bed. I was like, well, I'll just keep checking, and then all of a sudden it goes Sanford's ahead, and I'm like, oh god, what was Josh thinking?
I don't know how you are able to.
I'm just really pleased that that Sanford's made some good trades, and actually it's worked out well for him. So yeah, cheers for that.
So it's 1-0.
Hope it was worth it for you.
It's 1-0, and there's 2 more to go. So there's still a chance.
There's always a chance. We've done this before. I think since we started this podcast, I've won 1 game at most.
So
every week I've always said there's a chance of me winning.
When we do the previews, you could talk about how confident or not you are in this week.
Why would I be confident? Have you seen what I've done?
I don't know, but you always seem to back your team every week when we do the previews.
No, I'm done. It's not my team. I've told you, they're managerless. I've been sacked. That team is a ghost team now. If they win, it's their well played to them. I'll take credit for it.
Yeah, you'll be swinging your shirt around Mill Hill East Station. You'll love it.
If I survive and I'm not the Miriam, I will do the first intro of the podcast with the plants in one hand and my shirt swinging over my head on the other.
Well, let's see if you get through this week then.
I think we all want it to go down to the last week.
Yeah,
we don't want it to be a wet fish.
And I think the prevailing feeling is that after Monsieur Sanford's what can only be described as torrentially bad draft, he probably does deserve to be the Miriam.
But amazing if he isn't.
Still grates on me that he won against me in week 1.
Given Josh Gowan's amazing draft.
Just don't. My draft was awesome.
Best team for a 12-man league. In an 8-man league.
I picked up Aaron Jones in that. Anyway, whatever. I'm not going to go into this. You guys are wrong, and I will prove it later on today. Right.
You can't prove it. You are last. You are going to be the Miriam. Your draft was donkey.
I don't deserve to be last. I'm not going to get into it.
Scorecards do not lie, mate.
Yeah. And the scorecards, if you look closely enough.
No.
There's a pattern.
Win with grace and lose with grace.
Look, see, Josh has been told off by his future wife, so he's trying to remain as calm as possible in the face of adversity.
I'm very calm.
Is this adversity or mediocrity?
It's bullying. That's what's going on right now. I don't like it.
Oh my days.
I think it's cruel. I think you're picking on the person who's the weakest, and I don't think that's fair.
I mean, you've literally brought it on yourself.
So this whole kind of concept of losing with grace and winning with grace, I haven't quite got down either. I don't think so. I think that's probably why I've brought it on myself. Anyway,
maybe you should auto draft next year.
I genuinely think that it's my management of my team, not my draft, that's the issue.
We'll see.
Maybe you should go like a long length of time, just no trading.
We've been saying this for years.
That has been suggested.
I think you need to go to rehab. I think we know a facility.
I've been like 3 times. I don't want to go again.
Yeah, but we need to go to like the Priory or a better one. Don't cheap out this time.
You're saying I shouldn't go on the NHS. I need to start paying for
go on the NHS.
Basically, yeah.
All right.
Maybe you need some ECT, Josh.
I might need a bloody lobotomy at this point.
I hear it works. I've seen a good film about it.
Do we need to talk about the waivers this week?
Not
really. I don't think any.
Bit of a dead week, wasn't it?
All the waivers come up in the matchups.
Yeah. I mean, I got T.Y. Hilton. Yay me.
Did you need him?
He's going to sit on my bench.
And Jamie got his insurance policy?
Well, I by the looks of things, not an insurance policy, he's a starter.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you know what? It might be one of those ones where
they all get
better running back turns out to give me a better option because it narrows the field.
I mean, that whole team gets injured constantly.
Yeah, I know.
Like they're both going to go down.
But George Kittle might be coming back. Did everyone see the news?
Are they still an actual playoff candidate?
Unless they lose this week, yes.
So, yeah, I guess if they win, they'll bring him back.
I mean, they'll just be chucking the ball to Ayuk, so they'll be fine.
Yeah, until Kittle comes back. And then he gets everything. Totally, when in my dead rubber 16 match, having lost this week, I think I can't wait.
We shall see.
I don't know how this has happened, I'll be honest. But it's
amazing. All right, Dan, shall we look at your matchup?
We can look at my matchup. It's...
Wait. Are we not having a word from our sponsors? Midway.
Our sponsor from himself, the man himself.
This is the real reason why I came on the card. Let's be honest.
Oh,
you know, we had all that much else.
It's because we've been misrepresenting you for like the last 4 podcasts.
You have. Can I just say today I made some outrageous savory donuts.
Ooh, what was in them?
So I did a pulled beef. A pulled beef and caramelized onion donut. I did a mini burger donut, and I did a sweet chili aioli and panko breaded chicken donut, which was.
Are you selling these by any chance?
No, it was just for personal consumption.
I'd buy a batch.
Yeah, the problem is these are like good when they're like boiling hot, like fresh, hot, like. Yeah, it was heaven. I think I was done with like the sweet stuff.
Fair.
It's Nat's birthday this Shabbat, and we've been trying to think of like things to do for Friday night. And if you were selling them, I'd be on that.
I could be persuaded.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's chat tomorrow.
Get some proper boyfriend points there.
This is how trades work in our league.
I've tried to be a good boyfriend. I've mentioned this before. Like at the point she realizes she's better than me, I'm fucked. So I've got to keep.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm surprised it's not happened already. To be honest.
Last week,
yeah, I mean,
you were doing the Hanukkah presents. Last week it was the Hanukkah presents wrapping during the podcast, and now you're organizing her birthday. I mean, she's a lucky girl.
I try hard.
Whereas Alistair bought Ellie a PS5 for her birthday, which is lovely.
Such a thoughtful gift.
So thoughtful.
See, that's like when you go to someone's Friday night dinner and you take them your favorite chocolate.
I'd love to play Madden on the PS5 though.
No, we need to buy WWE.
Oh yeah, for the draft next year.
I mean, also because I bet you it's a great game.
I reckon it's a great game too. Yeah.
I really want to get one of those.
Buying a console and buying WWE, and we can just jam.
What are they called? Is it the Oculus? The one where you basically put on the visor? I want to get one of those.
With WWE.
There's a place that I don't mean to advertise during those advertising space, but there's a place in Wembley that does like really cool virtual reality things, which we're going to try and go to at some point after lockdown.
That'd be cool.
All right. Anyways, get your festive menus at eatmeevents.com/order.
Is there a code to get 0% off?
Yeah, actually, if you put the code in, it gives me more money. So, it's like a tip box.
What's the code this week? Is it Gowan is Miriam?
No, that's not live till next week.
No, it's Gowan is almost Miriam.
Yeah. True.
Promo code for 0% off.
So I've been eating Eat Me Events food for 8 years, almost to the day now. And I can honestly say I have never had anything that was not utterly delectable in that time. I would advise Eat Me Events for all of your kosher catering needs for all your smachot.
That's how you do it.
I can do a better job. Yeah,
What he said.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Should we do
Festive menus.
I mean, if you could get me some of those donuts, I could do a review of those too, if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm very pro those donuts.
Could be persuaded.
Panko
do a
chicken.
review? We could do
Panko
a
chicken
separate
one.
podcast.
No, that
We're world
pulled
famous
beef
now.
and onion one, mate. That sounds
Oh,
incredible.
honestly, they
I'll
were.
have the
And
pulled beef one without onion.
tomorrow,
And with mayonnaise and shish lick.
Yeah.
Pollock,
Panko
the
chicken.
yeah, you would like that one. And
Yeah,
tomorrow
yeah.
I'm doing a maple bacon
Oof.
one as well.
Oh,
God damn.
mate.
Yeah. So I'll keep updated.
Oh, we've turned
sure
into
there'll
a
be some
cooking show.
spares. Yeah. Sorry. Let's move on. My ad break is a bit over time. I can't afford this much time.
Are there any news and notes, guys? I know we got birthdays, Ellie and Nat, so have birthday this week.
Hanukkah.
Yeah, happy birthday to
Party
Natalie.
Mazel Tov.
Happy birthday
Yeah.
to Ellie.
Party Mazel Tov.
Who's your party Mazel Tov?
I've got no news.
Jamie, any new exams?
Nah, mate. Just
Still refreshing.
Oh, I'm giving COVID vaccines this weekend. That's fun. I've decided I'm going to do something good before I watch my team lose.
If you enter the code, get fucking vaccinated at checkout, go on, we'll put you at the bottom of the list to get one.
Can I just say, I sent Sanford an amazing thing on Instagram today, which was the guys in America bringing in the COVID vaccine into the hospital to Sunday Night Football music. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Also, there's Saturday Night Football this week.
What?
There's Saturday Night Football this week.
There is Saturday Night Football.
Why is there game on Saturday night this week?
Your boy's playing. Alan.
Yes, he is. Yes.
Alan throwing to Diggs all night.
Is that
clashing with Bill Bailey in the Strictly final? I'm devastated.
Did Bill Bailey do a stance to a Metallica song?
It was amazing.
How does that work?
It worked.
Just
I'll have to YouTube it.
I have no idea where this podcast is going.
Bill Bailey, that's why. Bill Bailey. Sanford
I wonder how James Hetfield feels about it. I mean, he might still be in rehab, so I'm not sure he feels much, but we'll see.
This week's matches?
Maybe let's leave the preview for a moment. I'm going to go into the deep
here
dive.
He goes.
We'll do
here
a
he
deep
comes.
Because you haven't heard enough about me moaning. This is where my, can we start? Does anyone have sound effects? Can we start playing the violin?
I'm just going to get my tiny violin just from the other room.
Thanks,
Dan, as the co-host of the podcast, shall we implement a law which is basically states Garn is only allowed to be woe is me in one segment per week?
Right, I love it. You could do it the whole podcast if you like. Go on. You tell us how unlucky and how sad life is. Well, as the manager of your team.
Did you know what I looked at specifically this week? What I thought, guys, was a bit of education, looking at losses under 10 points. Because you know how gutting that is when you're just sitting there and you're like, less than 10 points off. That means you're definitely going into the last game hoping for something. It's always a Monday night game, or it seems to always be a Monday night game.
I don't want to ruin your thing, like, as it starts, but, like, if I lose by 10 points, I've been battered.
No, but like under 10 points.
Go on. Go ahead, Cam. To the music.
Sorry, I got some tinnitus. I don't know. So under 10 points is the kind of threshold that we kept. Similar to where you keep your double-digit player like out of and some arbitrary like, oh, that counts as a bust if they under 10 points. Anyway. 10 points is where I drew the line. And there's been 18 times that there's been an under 10 point loss this year. And every team has had at least one. So one loss to where it's gone into the last game and it's a bit galling. Fine, there is under 2 points or 3 points. That sucks. So every team. But, if you break it down, Lev, you've had one. Ali's had one. Sack's had one. Sanford's had one. Pollock, you've had two. Saul's had two. And Jamie's had two. I've lost 12 times now, as you know, but 8 of them have been by under 10 points, which means in 8 of them, I've been sat there scrolling through my feed, hoping that I don't get caught on Monday night or hoping I'd catch on Monday night without it happening. 8 times. So I thought, okay, 8 times. Maybe that's just like, it happens. You know, the person who comes bottom every league always loses by a lot of games. Maybe that's something they lose by a lot of points, by not many points. And it's just narrow losses all the way through. So I looked back last year and there were 18 losses by under 10 points. So I was like, oh, maybe it's consistent. Ironically, I didn't have any last year, so maybe that's like whatever. But anyway, we're not dwelling on that.
Maybe we should dwell on that.
But
I feel like we need some. I feel like we need some sad background music here. We're really getting
Go on, roll it again.
So, well, last year, Pollock, you had 4 as the most, and Jamie, you had 4 as well. But if you remember, Jay, you only lost 5 times last year. And the time you didn't lose by under 10 points, you lost by 11 points. So I thought that was fairly impressive that you basically only lost very, very close games last year.
God, the baby goats.
So maybe there is something to this kind of, Jamie's actually better than we hope.
Oh no, it's gone.
But in the previous years, the most anyone has ever lost by under 10 points is 4 times. So it was Sack in 2018, Sanford in 2018, you, Pollock, Jamie in 2019. And there's always been between 13 and 18 under 10-point losses. But this year I have 8. 8. That's more than any person has losses. I have losses by under 10 points this year.
But Josh, this is a confounding fact.
You'd think that like some of them would go my way. I have won 2 games this year.
Having been 45 points behind going into Monday night and you score 41 points, it's still not a close loss.
That has never happened to me. All of these have been comebacks. All of these have been me missing it by 2 points or by 4 points on Monday night. Because the Rams won't throw to bloody Cook and Cup and Woods, and all of my players just decided to get injured, and
I've got some great music for when it's Josh's previews. Just remind me.
I'm feeling you're not taking this as seriously as I am.
Sorry, God, I'm really taking this so seriously.
I hope you
we're all gutted for you.
That this year has been an anomaly year, and I should have been better, and I should have done better.
And yet
it's not fair.
Losing every week.
I think we should have a revote.
I cannot believe you've only won 2 games all season. It's just beyond me.
One of them was by 0.7 points from Sanford as well. It was a really good one.
I don't care.
No, but I haven't enjoyed any game. I've enjoyed 1 game this year where I actually won by a decent margin, didn't have to stress.
But maybe you'll enjoy this week.
You're gonna need to.
I'm not holding my breath.
God, you're gonna need to win.
I think, unfortunately, as much as I enjoyed my Plancy win last year, I think karma has come to well and truly bite me in the arse because I think I didn't stay humble, and I think I thought I was Betty Big Bollocks.
Would you take it though? Looking back, would you still want to be Clancy if you knew that the following season you'd be a Miriam?
Oh, I mean, yeah, you can't take away the Plancy. Plancy is the pinnacle. I mean, who wants to be an also-ran every year and just not win the Plancy? Oh, wait a second. That's awkward. Sorry, guys.
But I feel like the Plancy has way more negative weighting towards it rather than winning the Plancy.
Oh, you mean the Miriam?
Sorry, the Miriam. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
So, like, for everyone,
it might be because all you've done is had the elation of avoiding Miriam. Whereas if you have the elation of getting the Plancy, it's pretty good. Plus,
you get the belt.
You get a belt.
Well, I did have the belt in my possession for a lot of last year.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like, engraved and everything. Even with an asterisk next to Ali. It's awesome.
Well, really, I mean, leading us into the previews for this week, on the face of it, it's basically the old guard versus the new guards trying to
two
get
Planty
the belt.
champions versus two wannabe Planty champions.
Yeah. It could be very interesting, although quite likely that both wannabes will be out by this time next week.
Yes. So bringing us on to your matchup.
Me against the GOAT.
You against Saul and his ridiculous team of monsters.
I feel like if there's anyone that's gonna beat Saul's team, it's my team. I'm just gonna put it out there. On paper, I think my team has a really good shot this week.
I mean,
all right, let's go through it.
This is also a rematch of last year's semi-final.
Yes.
Yeah, where he beat me by like a point, right?
Yeah, by just about a point and a half.
Oh, someone get the violins out.
It's true. It counted as one of yours last year. One of your four.
Rogers is Rogers. That's 30 points there. Is he the QB1 on the season? If he's not, he's pretty close.
Who is QB1?
I think it's Mahomes, mate.
Oh. Yay.
Yeah. I think it's
Mahomes. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, Mahomes is one.
Yeah, but not by much. Rogers has thrown 39 passing touchdowns and 4 interceptions all year.
Yeah, so look, it's going to be, I think, on paper, both our teams will probably have the highest points this week. And basically, it's whoever can get higher. It's going to be, yeah, as I said, Mahomes against Rodgers, two best quarterbacks probably in fantasy right now. Henry against Cook, the two best running backs in fantasy right now. Eckler against Montgomery, the two best comebacks in the running back position.
Well, I don't know. Eckler is... You've got the thing. So Eckler is playing Las Vegas, and I think 5 of their defensive linemen went down with COVID this week.
They're bad enough anyway against the run. So
yeah, but he was limited today, so maybe they'll limit his snaps. We're not quite sure.
We'll see. I mean, as
the same for Keenan Allen, who didn't practice today, I don't think.
Yeah, so it's
and you're playing tomorrow night the game.
Listen, when it comes to someone like Eckler, when you're scoring 19 points, when you're scoring 19 points and not getting a touchdown, that's good enough for me. So I'm quite happy.
Julio, who may or may not play.
I don't think he's going to play. And I've been quite lucky that Ayuk's kind of come into the position that he's in at the time that it is. So I'm hoping against Dallas he should do some damage. But then on the other side, Robinson's amazing.
Yeah,
so where I could win this matchup might be in the tight end position. Possibly.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the best tight end in the game left in playoffs.
Exactly.
Playoffs. And you got Chubb as your
and then Chubb against the Giants.
The Giants is not as bad as it was, and certainly not. But I mean, like Chubb is Chubb,
right?
That's 25 points right there, Chubb.
So
he's full Chubb now. He's hit full Chubb.
He definitely has. It's gonna be a close game, I think. Again, like even our
hashtag biggest William in the league.
Even our like defenses are, because the Seahawks against Washington, when Washington kind of have no one, could be.
No, I think Washington will move the ball. I don't think the Seahawks D will be that great this week.
And then I've got Pittsburgh against the Bengals, which is quite a nice matchup.
That, on the other hand, should be good. Though Pittsburgh D is also still
20 points
pretty. minimally.
So, forgive me for getting a bit excited about the prospect of possibly winning this game. My team are quite good.
Yeah,
It's Derrick Henry.
This is going to be a close one. I'm gonna call it. I think you're going to win. I think the Yeti is unstoppable. That's 35 points.
In my opinion, I knew that if I got the bye, my team have great matchups, 15 and 16. So I can't complain with where I am right now.
You ready for 250 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns with a jet sweep for 80 yards too?
I mean, the last 2 seasons or so, he's got 44 points on week 15. So
Pollock, does that mean you're expecting a record-breaking week?
You get a top score of the season.
Which currently, by the way, I am in the lead for that. Unbelievably.
How many points did you get?
166, I think.
Yeah.
Against me.
Look, on paper.
Did you lose by less than 10 that week, Josh?
No.
On paper, either me or Saul could top score this week for the season.
On paper, one of the 4 teams playing could.
There are 6 teams playing.
But I would.
Sorry, 6 teams playing.
But on paper, any one of the 4 teams playing. Let's face it.
Yeah.
I'm calling.
I just think on recent
Dan's
form,
going to win. Josh.
I look. As much as I bemoaned Saul being called the GOAT, he knows how to get it done. He's been there. He's done it. And unfortunately, this may well be the time that Pollock can squeeze through. But I think sometimes having an old head and knowing kind of what to do and how to win.
You're not wrong, because I'm probably going to have to make a choice on my wide receiver, and I'll probably get it wrong because I'll probably ask you.
Yeah, don't ask him, or ask him to do the opposite.
But
it'll be the one time I get, because I'm getting things.
Do you know what I think? Do you know what I think will push it over the line? Do you know what I think could be the difference maker for Saul? Bloody Montgomery, for God's sakes, Jamie.
I didn't know that Ali would trade him to him. Bit of a suicide trade when you look at that one, actually.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that when I made that trade with McCaffrey and Montgomery for Edwards-Helaire and Cup, that the reason I would lose that trade is because of Montgomery?
Yeah. Hilarious.
So true.
Lev, who's going to win?
I'm going for Saul just because if I got beat by him, at least you want him to go on and win it. It's not me.
It's the old tic-tac-toe, follow the leader technique.
Yeah.
And also he's the GOAT, so
he is the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
Oh God!
It's a David versus Goliath matchup.
Go on, Dan. I've said you're going to win. Who's going to win? Get off the fence.
I've got to back my team.
You've got to back your team.
Yeah.
I've got to back my team. It's week 15. I got the bye. I'm backing my team.
So that's how it's done, Jamie.
To the weekly slaughter. You've got the Poo Rangers, the Pooper Rangers, and a team that conceivably could win, which is not mine.
Well, you've been, dare I say it, unlucky with injuries.
Fucking Christian McCaffrey.
At least you've had the option of putting someone else in the team.
I guess what's been really unlucky is that McLaurin has
just been shite.
Yeah, he's just gone on a bit of a downward spiral right when you need him to be. I'll sit him this week
and he'll score 25 points.
Yeah, it's a hard one because he might be
And Deontay Dropson.
Yeah, that's not so good.
Man's a wide receiver. Catch the fucking ball.
There's always one player in the league that has a great team and then it all kind of falls apart. Lev had it.
Happens to me every year. Every year it goes to shit.
Lev's team in the space of a week all went to prison. It was great.
I've got a question. Tonyan or Andrews?
Andrews.
Yeah, Andrews.
Lev?
I'm going with Andrew's general consensus.
Has to be.
I think I'm going to start Tonyan.
Ooh. Fair enough.
We'll see. Man, Tonyan's gone 12.9, 15.2, 11.9, 12.1. He's consistent, mate. I
worry, though, for you, Jamie. I think you might have run out of steam.
Oh, I think I'm going to get absolutely humped.
Yeah, Skid is literally coming onto form.
You say that. I don't think Wilson and Carson are going to have great games.
Who are they playing? Washington.
Yeah.
Washington have a good D. But
I don't think they're going to have great games.
Robinson's playing Baltimore, have a good run D. He's been carrying injury. But Diggs could score 700 by himself.
Diggs and Hill should both have great weeks. That could be the difference.
New Orleans is in theory a good defense, but we'll see.
And Swift against Tennessee, also not a great run D.
Yeah, I think, and more importantly, the Rams against the Jets.
Oh, Rams against
45 points in itself.
The Rams. The Rams got like 21 points last week. I can't remember who they.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, against New England. So
the Rams are the number 1 on the season now. No, they're number 4.
No, Pittsburgh.
Number 4.
But the Rams last.
How did I get Pittsburgh
15, 11, 21, and I don't think it's going to get any worse.
So how did I pick up the Steelers? I didn't start with them.
No, you traded for them.
Oh yeah, who?
I've been limited to my sections. I can't get Mopey again, so fuck off.
Oh, sorry, you're in. Yeah, fair enough.
Pittsburgh are the number 1 D by 7 points from Miami.
Oh, 7 points! I could have done with that on Sunday.
And the Rams in 123.
Okay, so I think Sack could do it. Sorry, Jay.
No, I'm backing Sack too.
His team just looks very strong at the moment.
Clean sweep of backing Sack, Josh.
Well, when I spoke with Sack, when we were considering the Miriam Bowl series, I said one of us was going to win the Planty this year. Obviously, it won't be me, so I'm backing Sack.
Yeah, I'm going for the cousin.
Family loyalty.
Yeah, exactly. The cousin connection.
Clean sweep, back Sack, gonna get hammered. I've accepted my fate. I'm the Miriam no longer for another year.
It's on the morning of his victory over Sanford, to get into the playoffs. He said to me that he envisioned playing me in the final. So let's see.
See if he can do it.
We'll call him Joseph. I think that's it. If he wins this year.
Is Drew Brees coming back?
Apparently he was like wincing when he was throwing today. Which isn't great.
And to end, do you want an update with how we did on that first week of our mini draft we did?
Did I pick McCaffrey?
Oh yeah, you did pick McCaffrey. In the first round.
But I also picked Lamar Jackson.
I was about to say, do you want to know the good news is you're not last, despite having a 0.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson smashed it for me.
Do you want to know who is last?
So.
Nope.
You.
Nope.
Me.
Yep. So Jamie with 74 points. Not bad off 5 players.
Yeah.
Kamara, Andrews, Adams, Aaron Jones, and Brady. Brady's the one that cost him the most. He kind of got quite a lot less. And Jones as well. Then it's you, Pollock, with 80 points. With Lamar Jackson, CMC, Metcalf, Gronk, who just about did enough. 6.7. But Chubb helped you out a lot.
Yeah.
I think it was Lamar Jackson helped him out a lot.
Yeah, after going for his dump.
So that game basically, without that game, you were on like 12 points. My atrocious stacking of Kelsey, Hill, and Mahomes has totally not worked with 18, 24, and 23 points. Seems pretty good so far. And then Cook and Eckler took me to 103, which is better than my entire score of my team. So
and the GOAT scored how many?
But of course, Saul has basically picked his team We've got Rogers, Montgomery, and then he's picked obviously a part of your team, Pollock, with Henry and Waller, and then Michael Thomas, and he's got 112 because all of them did pretty well. So Saul's in the lead.
Typical.
Of course he is. The GOAT.
Well, is McCaffrey? Can I trade for McCaffrey? Can I sub him out?
Who do you want in? We can give you Will Fuller. How about that?
Give me. I'll take a random person who's like on our waiver wire right now instead of McCaffrey. I'll take Fournette.
You can have I'll have to double check, but I'm happy to let you sub in Fournette, Jay.
No, that's not the game.
Fair enough. I'll go with McCaffrey. It's fine.
That's right. McCaffrey could lose you a shawarma here.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've already lost the fish and chips.
Yeah.
The final game of the week. The Pooh
Hang on,
Bowl Mark II.
Oh, we actually need to talk about this.
It's Sanford versus Gatton. I.
I mean,
I was ready to wrap it up.
No.
I'm not sure what else do we say about this game. I mean, Sanford's sending in the car.
Send in the car. But can I just say, Gowan told me that he felt very good about this week. he did.
I did. Yeah. I don't know what I was talking about.
Sorry, go on.
Carry on.
Is he gone?
I'm vetoing this game.
Okay, we'll stop now.
All right, who's winning? Who's winning the game? Gowan,
I want Garn because it will mean it goes to the last week. So I'm rooting for you, Garn.
I also, looking through it, think Garn is going to win.
I think Sanford should bench all his team so it goes to the final week. I think it's the only the right thing to do.
You just know Kareem Hunt's going to have a great game. Davis is going to have a great game. Oh my God.
No. We know what's going to happen. Out of everything that's going to happen, the person who's going to have the great game and screw me over the most is the one that I believed in when nobody else will. Tyler Lockett.
No, it will be.
So damn funny.
Who's playing in the? Oh no, it will be Eric Ebron in the final game of the weekend. Who needs?
Oh no, he's going to play Gronk. Surely he won't make me wait till Monday again.
He needs 2 points to win, and it happens right at the end.
What would be more heartbreaking, the final minute Ebron touchdown to beat you, or the... Hold on. I just have to pull up your team. Do you have anybody on Monday?
No.
You don't have anybody playing really late.
I banned Monday. Anyone who's playing on Monday, I dropped.
I was going to say, what would be worth the final minute Tom Brady intercept to send you down, to condemn you.
Gowan, surely you've got to win one. Come on.
No, I'll tell you what it will be. It will be the bloody Will Lutz missing a 40-yard and a 50-yard field goal just because, kickers. That's what.
You're not in your segment.
Sorry.
Do you think you'll win or not?
No.
Yes or no? No. Okay. Lev?
I'm rooting for him.
Oh, I'm rooting for me. Can I change my answer to I'm rooting for me? Because I didn't realize that was the question.
But
I'm really
no, I don't think.
I'm sorry.
I don't think you'll win. Just your record speaks for itself, really.
I'm backing you, Gowan. I think you're gonna win.
Yeah, Gowan, we're gonna go for you.
You're fools.
Be that as it may, apparently we do not have very long left
in love
the meeting.
With you.
So do we want to wrap it up?
I think now we should wrap it up there.
Yes, please end this.
Chanukah Sameach, guys.
Yeah, good luck to everyone.
Yeah, good luck for the week. Look, it is quite exciting at the top end, so I'm hoping for an exciting week of football. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit dead inside. This has been a very depressing hour, but I hope you've enjoyed my, analysis and demise. And hey ho, there's always next year.
Thanks, Lev,
See
as
you
well.
guys. See you in the final week.
I can relate to it very much,
That's it.